Okay, today we're going to be talking about how to create a dot plot, how to interpret a dot plot, and how to compare dot plots. All right, this can be printed off and you can follow along that way. Excuse me, or I would just screenshot it on your iPad. All right, so first we're going to look at how to create a dot plot. So you have your data. Your situation is the data set below represents the height rounded to the nearest inch of students in Mr. Hansen's homeroom. Create a dot plot to represent this data. So what you're going to want to do first is look at your numbers, and you need to find the smallest number that you have, which is 55. And you're going to put it in order starting with that one. So you have 55. Then you have 56, another 56, all right, you don't have any 57s, so then go to 58. You have a 58. You have another 58 right there. All right, then do 59. So we have 59 here, 59 there, 59. Okay, then we're going to go to 60. We're going to go another 60. Okay, then we're going to go to 61. And then one more 61 right there. Then we're going to go to 62. We have a lot of 62s in here. Okay, we're going to go for 63. There's no 63s. We have a 64, and we have a 65. All right, two reasons for doing this: making sure that you put your numbers in order, which will help you when you make your dot plot, but also making sure that you have all of your numbers and you've used all of them. All right, so the lowest number we have is 55, and the highest number we have is a 65. So if I come over here to the number line, we'll start with 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, and 66. So those are my numbers. So now that you've put them in order, it's going to be really easy for you to just add your dots. So the first number you have is 55, and go across that off. Then you have two 56s, so you just put two dots above 56. Cross off both of those. Don't have any 57s, so then we have two 58s. Cross those off. We have two 58s. See, that's why I use a pencil. Then for 59, we have 3, so 1, 2, 3. For 60, we have 2. For 61, we have 4. For 62, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to do 6 dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cross all of those off. For 63, we don't have any. For 64, we have 1. And then for 65, we have 1. So again, that was a mistake. So this is essentially what your dot plot is going to look like for this set of data. Okay, so then the next one that we're doing, the next section, is interpreting a dot plot. So now we are going to look at this dot plot and the question. It says the dot plot below represents the latest test scores for Mrs. Miles' first period civics class. Use the dot plot to answer the questions to the right. So we're using this dot plot for these questions, excuse me, right here. Okay, so the A says describe the shape of the dot plot. Are the dots evenly distributed or grouped on one side? So we look back at our dot plot. Are they kind of evenly all over, or is it more on the right side or more on the left side? Well, we have one dot right here, and the rest of our dots are to the right of the middle. So what we would say here is it's skewed, which just means it's more to the right. And we'll just say to the right. If all the dots were more on the left side, it would be skewed to the left. All right, then it says describe the center of the data. So with this, you need to find the mean, the median, the mode, and the range. And the way that we're going to do this, when you find the median, remember you have to find the average. So you would go in and you can use a calculator for this, and you would go in and you would add up your numbers. Now remember, when you have more than one dot above a number, that means that there are two 70s. There are three 80s. There are 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 85s, there's 4 90s, there's 4 95s, and two 95s and two 100s. So I'm going to put this into my calculator real quick. So when you add all those up, you get 1,735. Okay, so that's the total when I add them all up. Now I have to find out how many numbers are in my data set. So I have 1, 2, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So I take 1,735 and I'm going to divide it by 21, because again, this is how we find the mean. You got to add up all your numbers and then divide it by the total number in your data set. And this gives me 82.6. Well, it's a much larger decimal, but we're just going to use that. So the mean score of these test scores is 82.6. All right, so the median, remember the median is where you go in and you cross off the first number and the last number until you get to the middle. So over here, I'm just going to use my my dots, and I'm just going to cross them off until I get to the middle number. So my median is going to be 85. So the median over here is 85. Which number, remember mode is the most. So which number has the most dots on it? That's the nice thing about dot plots. It's pretty easy to find those answers. So which one has the most dots? That's going to be 85 because it's got 5 dots and 4 and 3. So 5 is the biggest number. So the mode is going to be 85. And then the range, remember, is largest number minus smallest number. So my largest number is 100 and my smallest number is 40. So I'm going to do 100 minus 40, which gives me 60. So the range of my data set is 60. All right, so describe the spread of the data. Are there any outliers? An outlier is a number not close to the data set. Okay, so if we're looking at our data again, so we have a number that's really far away from the rest of the numbers. And you should say yes, 40 is really far away. So therefore, 40 is the outlier. Okay? Well, I spelled that completely wrong. Sorry about that. There we go. All right, so that is how you interpret data when you're looking at a data, or when you're looking at a dot plot. All right, the last one, we are going to be comparing two dot plots. All right, so this dot plot is the data below represents the shoe size of students on the girls, or in the girls' PE and the boys' PE class. Use the dot plots below to answer the questions to the right. So again, we're using these two and we're comparing them. All right, so question number one, or question A, says compare the shape of the dot plots. So if we're looking at the shape of the dot plots, they're pretty evenly, like the girls, they're all real close together, and the boys, they're fairly close together with a somewhat of an outlier. So here, I mean, there could be many things that you could say. You could say girls are closer grouped together. You could also say the boys have one outlier. Okay, there's many things, so these are not just the only answers, but these are some of the answers. All right, B says compare the centers of the dot plot. So what do you notice about the two centers of the dot plot? This one goes much higher in a peak. This is more of a curve. All right, so again, many things you could say, but girls have a higher peak. Boys more of a, we'll say, steady, small curve. Okay, are these the only things you can say? Absolutely not. But these are just two of those. All right, for C, it says calculate the median of the boys and the girls. We just talked about finding the median using your dot plot. So again, I'm just going to cross off the first and the last until I get to the middle. So now we have two numbers in the middle. Remember, when we have two numbers in the middle, we have to add them together, which is 16, and then 16 divided by 2 is going to give me 8. So the median for the girls is a size 8, and then for the boys, and then same thing, we have those two in the middle, so I'm going to add those two together, get 20 divided by 2, that's going to give me a 10. So the median for the boys' shoe size is a 10. All right, and then it says calculate the range for both the boys and the girls. So the highest number over here for the girls is 11, and the lowest number is 5. So I'm going to do 11 minus 5, which gives me 6. So the range for the girls is 6. And then the smallest number for the boys is 6, and the biggest number is 13. So then I'm going to do 13 minus 6, which gives me 7. So the range for the boys is 7. And that is how you create a dot plot, how you interpret a dot plot, and how you compare them. Okay, if you have any questions, please make sure to ask during our Zoom sessions, or you can send me an email or whatever. All right, thank you.